You're listening to the Hour of the Time. I'm William Cooper. Well, folks, I've got to tell you that tonight's broadcast is going to be very interesting. I think you're going to have your eyes opened just a little bit, anyway. In fact, I think you're going to be riveted to your radio for a little while. As we move on into expose land. You know what that is, don't you? That's when we show you the way somebody wants you to believe they are, and then tell you the truth about the way it really is. And so, sit back, relax, get ready for some startling revelations. And remember, the only place you ever get this kind of stuff, the real truth, is right here on the Hour of the Time. You can search your dial. You can listen to every radio station and every radio host and every television talking head show that you can find. You will never in your life hear truth as you hear it on the Hour of the Time.
Jones Center of the People's Temple was, in reality, a mass mind control experiment conducted by the CIA as a follow-up to something called MK Ultra. They had medical checkups for everyone every day.
A CIA plan to take over the world's judicial and political systems through mind control by the year 2000.
There was a mind control experimentation going on. Control of individuals, control of groups, control of world population. The New World Order.
The cheapest commodity in the world is human beings. They use ultrasonic, which will boil the brain. Boil the brain. The electrical patterns which give you memory are scrambled. RHIC, radio hypnotic intracerebral control, electronic dissolution of memory, EDOM. The mind can be put under complete control. To create a race of slaves. There has been a right-wing coup. This country is controlled by the Pentagon. Now, who do you suppose killed Kennedy? The National Security Agency and the hit teams. Voices are broadcast directly into the brain.
Yes, you are the 32nd degree Mason.
That is fact.
All right. We're going to have to grill you.
Oh, by all means.
Now, it is said by many, Richard Hoagland, my guest tonight, various callers who hinted at it, that the Masons are the power structure behind everything. That the Masons possibly worship the devil, Satan. And I think you have great umbrage with that, at least that much of it, right?
It offends me greatly.
And now you know the subject of tonight's broadcast. Art Bell is doing it again, intentionally deceiving the public. Here he is, pretending to know absolutely nothing about Freemasonry, and he has a rigged call with a 32nd degree Freemason calling in to him, and Bell is feigning ignorance. And right off the bat, he makes a statement that he knows is wrong. No one, at least no one that I know, has claimed that Freemasons worship the devil. On the contrary, I've made it a point on this broadcast to make my audience understand, or at least bring them to an understanding, whether they believe it or not, that Freemasons do not believe in a devil. They don't believe in Satan. They do believe in a Lucifer, and the Luciferian philosophy. Here's what they believe, ladies and gentlemen. They believe that the story of the Garden of Eden is a metaphor. A metaphor that explains in their teachings how man could have remained an ignorant beast, just another animal, if he had not progressed through his evolution to the point where he could think originally instead of act merely upon instinct, as most animals do. They believe that man, in this metaphor, was held prisoner in the Garden of Eden by an unjust and vindictive God, held prisoner in the chains or the bonds of ignorance. Now that means, in their story, that man was just an animal. He could not think. That he was set free from these chains, from his imprisonment, by Lucifer, or Prometheus, who gave man the gift of fire, or the gift of intellect, who said to Adam and Eve, first, according to the story, seduced Eve, to eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then Eve seduced Adam to do the same. So through the gift of intellect, being able to think, knowing wrong from right, having now intelligence, common sense, if you will, man was set free from the bonds that animals find themselves enslaved within. That is ignorance, the inability to think, the inability to reason, held prisoner in the Garden of Eden, in innocence, ignorance, subject to the laws of nature. And according to the promise of Satan, who was then the agent of Lucifer, in reality, in the mysteries, they are the same thing, Lucifer and Satan. Man could become as God. That's the promise made to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden by Lucifer, or Satan. The two are the same in the mysteries. Same thing. Prometheus in the ancient Greek myths. It's the same story. In the myth, Prometheus brought the gift of fire to mankind. Fire in the mysteries is synonymous with intellect, the mind, reason, the ability to think. This is called the Luciferian philosophy. This is what all of the adepts of not just Freemasonry, but for sure Freemasonry, and all of the other highest adepts of whatever secret fraternal order you wish to name. I don't care who it is. I don't care what the name is. They all believe the same thing. And they all work behind the veil to make this come true. That through the use of the gift of intellect, man will conquer nature and will himself become God. That's the Luciferian philosophy. Art Bell knows that full well. Art Bell is a very highly degreed Freemason of the Scottish Rite. He may belong to other secret orders also, but he has admitted on his own broadcast to being a Freemason. Many of you heard him. It was late in the night when a caller caught him by surprise and asked him point blank, and he said yes. And then he said, "Are you a fellow traveler?" And the caller said yes. And then Art said, "Well, we're not going to talk about this anymore on this show tonight." And that was the end of it. So what Art Bell is doing here, and this was just a few nights ago, on his Dreamland show, I believe. No, it wasn't Dreamland, I'm sorry. But it was just a few nights ago, not too long ago, that this occurred. And I want to make sure that you know about it and know that he's deceiving you, and so is the caller. And if you have listened to our Mystery Babylon series, where we have revealed the truth about Freemasonry and all of the other highest adepts of the secret orders, and remember, we are not talking about the lower degrees in these orders, people who are sucked in for promise of material gain and preference in jobs and contracts and everything else, and legal matters, go in to get preferential treatment in their communities and in the legal system and in business and in government. The secret handshake will get you a long way, ladies and gentlemen. Don't even kid yourself that it won't. So let's listen a little further to this Art Bell deception. Oh, he is a great deceiver. And who is the great deceiver? Who is the greatest deceiver of all? Lucifer, right? If mankind was made by God, mankind can be nothing more than a small part of that from which he was made. And since before God made the universe, nothing existed but God, everything that has been made in the universe must be made from what